Some people don't dislike celebrations. They just don't feel pulled toward them anymore. Birthdays pass quietly. Holidays arrive without anticipation. Achievements don't trigger the urge to mark the moment. And when this happens, people around them often misread it. They assume excitement faded, that joy shut down, that something went wrong. But what if nothing went wrong at all? What if not celebrating isn't emotional loss, but a shift in where meaning lives? For some people, certain days simply stop feeling different. The calendar flips, but nothing inside them moves with it. They still notice the date. They still understand why it matters to others. They just don't feel the need to perform it. And that distinction matters. Because celebration, for most people, is external, a shared agreement that this day matters more than others. And for a long time, you probably participated in that agreement. You showed up. You smiled. You did what you were supposed to do. But over time, something changed. Not dramatically. Quietly. You realized these moments didn't actually give you what they promised. They didn't make you feel more connected. They didn't make you feel more understood. They didn't deepen life in the way they were supposed to. So your nervous system stopped reacting to them. Not out of bitterness, not out of sadness, out of honesty. If this feels familiar, not in a dramatic way, just quietly, you could say that in the comments. Even a simple yes counts. Here's something most people don't think about. Your brain doesn't inherently recognize birthdays or holidays as meaningful. Meaning has to be assigned. And when meaning feels inconsistent, forced, or empty, the brain stops investing energy in it. For some people, this happens after repeated disappointment. Celebrations that promised warmth but delivered tension. Connection that felt obligatory instead of genuine. Moments that required emotional effort rather than offering relief. Eventually, anticipation becomes tiring. Expectation feels risky. So the body chooses neutrality, not as a defense, but as a form of efficiency. But that's not the only path. For others, celebration never felt essential in the first place. Even early on, they didn't understand the excitement. They didn't feel different on special days. They didn't experience rituals as magical, just scheduled. They weren't disconnected. They weren't damaged. They simply found meaning elsewhere. In consistency. In quiet moments. In depth instead of display. For them, celebration always felt slightly artificial. Like everyone agreed to exaggerate a day, and they were the only ones aware of the exaggeration. Different paths, same destination. A calm neutrality toward days the world insists should feel big. And this is where people misunderstand it. Not celebrating doesn't mean you don't care. In fact, many people who don't celebrate are deeply observant. They notice how people show up the rest of the year. They value consistency over ceremony, presence over performance. They don't want a party, they want sincerity. They don't want attention, they want alignment. That's why being the center of attention on those days can feel uncomfortable. Not flattering, constricting, not meaningful, overwhelming. It's not humility, it's not avoidance. It's your nervous system saying, this doesn't match who I am anymore. But society struggles with that, because celebration is treated as proof of happiness, and opting out looks like rejection. So people assume you're holding on to something, that you're closed off, that you just need to let people do something nice for you. What they don't see is that you already did, for a long time. And eventually you chose something else. Not isolation, not resentment, but self-trust. You stopped outsourcing meaning to dates, stopped waiting for specific moments to feel valued, stopped needing permission to feel content. And something subtle happened. Life got quieter, but steadier. You laughed when it was real, rested without explanation, connected without needing a reason on the calendar. You didn't lose joy, you refined it. And that's the part worth noticing, that for some people, not celebrating isn't an absence. It's a sign that meaning matured, that excitement doesn't need scheduling, that validation doesn't need witnesses, that life doesn't need designated peaks to feel whole. So, if holidays pass and feel ordinary, if your birthday comes and goes quietly, if you say, please don't make a big deal of it and genuinely mean it, there's nothing wrong with you. You're not numb, you're not ungrateful, you're not missing out. You've just learned that what matters most doesn't need to announce itself. And maybe that's not loss at all. Maybe It's clarity. Because celebration doesn't disappear when you stop marking it. Sometimes, it simply becomes something you carry every day without needing a reason.